We've heard it all when it comes to Erling Haaland. He's the world's biggest talent in football, and it looks only a matter of time before he makes his next big money move that will propel him further into stardom. But why is he actually so good? Is it his power? His pace? His ball control? Well, these all play a factor, but there's one thing no one has really attempted to explain. Something that is the core reason he's been able to use all of those other abilities so effectively. And that is his mindset, his attitude. In essence, his psychology. So this video will explain the psychology of what makes Erling Haaland so good. While only 20 years old, Erling Haaland is actually a man of many years of experience. He started his professional career in the Norwegian second division with Brynja. In the 2015-16 season, he scored 18 goals in just 14 games for the reserve side at just 15 years old. This led to a call-up to the first team, and he made his full team debut 3 months before his 16th birthday. Now, the thing with Norwegian football is that although it may not be the best technically, it's definitely a country in which physicality counts. Scandinavians are big lads, and Haaland had to learn very quickly as a skinny teenager he would not only need to improve physically, but also mentally. During his days of getting clattered by Vikings whilst at Brynja and Molde, Haaland learned quickly that quick decision making is necessary, whether that's nipping the ball past a burly centre-back or taking a snapshot before you get manhandled. So this first team exposure at such an early age has accelerated the maturity of Erling Haaland. Throughout the first 5 years of his career, he's pretty much spent all that time in the starting 11. And that's not common for someone of his age, where a lot of players, even up to their early 20s, just have the odd run of games here and there, or often just come off the bench. In those 5 years, Haaland has developed an in-game awareness of someone who's a lot older, and it's no wonder why he makes inch-perfect runs and always seems to be in the right place at the right time. By the way, do you think Haaland will win the Ballon d'Or in the next 3 years? If yes, give this video a like, and if no, let me know who you think will instead in the comments below. Now, many people know that football runs through Haaland's blood, given the fact that his dad, Alf-Inge Haaland, had a pretty successful career as a football player in England during the 1990s. But the interesting thing is that Alf-Inge has never been one to push Erling. A recent DW Kickoff documentary that interviewed many people involved in Erling's success revealed that Alf-Inge would never get involved with his son's training and would always quietly sit on the sidelines. And the reason this is important is because every year millions of kids give up sport because they stop enjoying it. And one of the main reasons they stop enjoying it is because of pushy parents. In the US alone, 20 million kids join sports teams every single year. And by the age of 13, 70% of those kids quit. Unfortunately, most parents try to live their own failed dreams through their children and push them to breaking point, interfere with the coaching of their children, and end up alienating their children because of insulting their child's teammates. So it's helpful that Alf-Inge has already had his own successful career in the sport, but he hasn't then used this to push Erling into anything he doesn't want to do. Most successful athletes are successful because they have high levels of intrinsic motivation, and in particular they are self-determined, which I did a previous video on, so check that out here. But what that means is the very best fundamentally do what they do for their own internal love of the sport. They are not trying to prove anything to anyone but themselves, and therefore they are free from unnecessary pressure of parents who just want their child to succeed for their own bragging rights. And it's clear that Erling just wants to keep improving, to keep banging in goals, and to do everything he can to become one of the best players in the world. His dad of course supports him, but Erling is doing all the pushing himself by himself. Now, despite Haaland scoring an insane amount of goals, like any other striker, he's had his fair share of misses. But what sets him apart from many others is his response and his body language when he misses chances. It's clear that whenever he misses a chance, Haaland expresses frustration, sometimes even borderline anger. But when you look at other strikers, particularly say Timo Werner, the body language at missing is more despair. Frustration trumps despair because the latter allows doubt to creep in. It allows that miss to play on your mind and start snowballing into miss after miss after miss. Despair knocks your confidence and zaps your motivation. It quite simply drains you of energy. But frustration energizes you. It focuses you more, knowing that you really shouldn't have missed that and that you must not make the same mistake twice. It keeps your standards very high and can sharpen your concentration so that you're far more clinical next time. And you see this all the time with Haaland. He is momentarily frustrated with himself, but he uses this as a fuel to make sure he buries the next chance. You could call him what psychologists call a rational optimist, someone who takes a realistic perspective on the present moment. It means maintaining the belief that if you put one foot in front of the other, follow the process, and believe you can succeed, then in more cases than not, you will get what you're looking for. Haaland doesn't fall into the trap of irrational pessimism, where after a setback or a failure, you overly dwell on it. You think the worst case scenario and believe it's going to be insanely difficult to turn things around. Erling Haaland's frustration is an insight into his optimism. It shows he believes he can score with every shot, and it's this sense of conviction that gives him a mental edge on the pitch. That's the psychology of Erling Haaland. Look, there's obviously countless other things that haven't been covered in this video, so let me know in the comments below what else you think gives Erling Haaland that winning mindset. Thanks ever so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.